This is IGN. A compelling co-op shooter that doesn't have the depth to keep things interesting long-term. This is your IGN review of FBC Firebreak by Sarah Thwaites. When it was first announced that Remedy, the developer behind seminal single-player epics like Alan Wake and Control, was working on a multiplayer shooter, I was equal parts confused and excited. This is a studio with a knack for creating inimitable worlds, so revisiting one in a less expected way seemed like an intriguing experiment worth checking out. Now, after 15 hours of blasting through FBC Firebreak's striking levels, upgrading my loadout, and fighting off a plethora of infected monsters, I feel about as confused and excited as I did at its initial announcement. This is an imaginative jaunt that struggles to make its mark in a fiercely competitive genre, but it's one that's at least left me with plenty of war stories to share. FBC takes place 6 years after the events of Control, and invites you back to the wonderfully strange architecture of the oldest house under wildly different circumstances. Instead of saving the day as the reluctant director Jesse Faden, you and up to 2 friends control a trio of wildly unprepared first responders attending to oddball emergencies that would make even the most battle-hardened OSHA officer wince. If a sentient sticky note infestation is turning the workers into monsters, or radioactive leeches have infested a quarry and need to be thrown into a furnace on wheels that resembles Team Fortress 2's payload, it's you and your team that receive the call. It's a hard job, but someone's got to do it. You thought that was it? Think again. On top of completing the task at hand, you'll face off against the hordes of Control's interdimensional antagonist, the Hiss, which seems to have taken up permanent residence in the oldest house. And on top of that, once you've finished your job site shift, your team will also have to trek back to the elevator you arrived in and survive until it reaches your station. It seems like a lot to handle on paper, and it would be if played solo, but with the help of 2 other players, these surreal tasks begin to feel like just another day at the multiplayer office. That is, if your office also includes menacing floating helmets, safe rooms, and molten furnaces. When playing as a full team, which feels like the optimal setup for FBC, each player gets to wield their own crisis kit, which mimics the class systems found in other cooperative shooters. There are 3 available, with each kit offering a unique skill that can expedite key tasks during a job. In the sticky note-laden job site paper chase, using the globule hurling splash kit will let you douse the yellow notes to make them more vulnerable, while someone with the fix kit can run around bashing the soggy slips with their trusty wrench whenever they're not using it to fix light boxes which illuminate contaminated areas. With all that going on, the jump kit operator can then keep Hiss agents at bay by using their secondary fire rocket jump to fly around the map. This meant that as I dipped between roles while figuring out my favorite kit, I always felt like a key player in my team's success. Perhaps what's most disappointing is that while FBC is a Remedy game, it doesn't feature the same Easter egg-ridden world building that always intrigued me about the studio's other games. You won't find Alan Wake cowering in a cell or a stray note about Mr. Dort, at least not in my experience so far. That's not to say there isn't anything curious to gawk at, and there are hints of the tonal brilliance of the Remedy-connected universe in the sarcastic posters and redacted notes littered around these maps, as well as the sporadic lore dumps delivered via voiceover when you're waiting in the lobby. But when I went looking for more serious depth beyond the tasks at hand, I came back disappointed. It might be the nature of the genre, but it was still a bummer when I realized investigating the nooks and crannies would never reward me with any lore or secrets, and would instead just leave me open to getting swarmed by bad guys. FBC Firebreak's approachable combat, esoteric missions, and screen-engulfing graphical effects help to make this multiplayer shooter feel reflective of Remedy's cryptic catalog, though it doesn't feel quite at home there just yet. Success often leans a little too heavily on your party's coordination, which is fun with a full team of friends, but can feel like a detriment if you're queuing up with random players online or playing alone. Even so, with my party in tow and a world of terrible chaos ahead, I still find myself eager to get back to my job at the world's most perilous workplace, but with its currently thin lineup of levels and upgrades, this may be more of a temp job than a full-time career. FBC Firebreak's IGN score? 6 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest game and movie reviews, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.